Hello, Facebook. We are live in the studio talking about fathers for equal rights. This is a great show. So for those of you that have seen it and are listening to it, if you have any questions, please tag those questions in, and we can try to see if we can get you answers, or even we can get you connected with someone. So just want to continue to encourage our listeners and encourage these fathers to fight for their rights if they feel that they have to. So right after this song, we're going to come back with Fathers for Equal Rights.
How this affects all of our spouses and the stepmothers. I've got 5 kids. I've got 2 16 and 18 year olds.
Listen up. So we got 16 minutes to get everything in and out. We get ready to go back in. 16 minutes. Get everything in and out. So what you don't get out in 16 minutes,
it's part 2.
I'm going to go bang it on my hot chair.
In 5, 4, 3.
All right. Welcome on our break. We had a great conversation. And Paul, so if you want to talk about that, the step parents and
I can speak to this in the first hand. My wife, now we're in our 15th year, have been through, absolute hell. We have dealt with a mother of my children. I have a 16 and 18-year-old. She has a 34, 36, and 37 or 38-year-old. Our 38-year-old son will introduce me as his father to his friends that have never met me before. And these kids met me at 18 and 20 years old, and they have a father. So this is about the highest honor I've ever been paid by anyone in my perspective, period, ever. So to say that we're able to blend a family is a tough thing. Trust me, it's been nothing but an uphill trudge, and it hasn't been enhanced by my 4 to 6 times a year on average in court with my ex-wife over the last 16 years. Wow. And so we've been in a financial and a legal battle our whole relationship. My ex has, let's just say, done quite a few things that has affected my wife in a way that nobody in the world deserves. Our 16 and 18-year-old daughters have said and done things to my wife that are reprehensible. They are cognitively disconnected with the fact that they have a loyalty to the mother, which makes them unloyal if they get along or love, actually deeply can admit they love my wife. The problem is what we're talking about here is called parental alienation. You're talking about the child behind the car screaming and yelling over a haircut, and she is systematically alienating that child away from the influence and the power and the choices of loving that father. And the parental alienation is where I have gone since then. I didn't learn about it until about 2 years ago. But Google Parental Alienation Awareness Organization, and you'll find out more about this power struggle and what to do about it. We're dealing with an ex that gets so narcissistically caught up into their issues and ownership of not being able to share a child that we're now talking about somebody who's working on what is psychologically profiled and analyzed and documented in the DSM-5, which is what psychologists use to call people schizophrenic and this and that and the other. There are tests, and there are many borderline people that are out there that have an issue. If you Google that it will explain what your ex is, and you don't know it. For 13 years, I didn't know what I was suffering and dealing with. I got a psychological evaluation and found out what I was dealing with, and I actually had empathy at this point for my ex. I said, oh my God. Because she is a decent person. She is a school teacher. She is a good Christian lady. She talks and loves our children like you've never seen before. She, I guess, pays taxes and buys groceries or whatever it is. We don't talk enough to know for sure. But my point is, she just hates me. More than she understands how to love our children.
I'm the stepmom, so I've been doing it for 11 years now, right? I'm the stepmom. You are, right? So I'm the stepmom where DCS comes to the house. Well, Mom said you did X, Y, and Z. I'm the stepmom where the child was the victim of child-on-child sexual abuse, and I believe that's part to all the court cases and all the back and forth where you're going to live here with Mom, you're going to live here with Dad, while the court's trying to decide. And Mom says, I can't come up there right now, I'm in school. but your child's a victim of child-on-child sexual abuse. This is that type of mom. And so the child, beyond how I feel, beyond the anxiety I feel I get from it, the children are suffering. We have a 15-year-old that lives with us who's my stepson, and his mom, I don't forget my first child, she said, well, I hope that half-retarded child dies because my children were premature and they're not retarded. But the point was that's her ignorance, and that's the type of verbal abuse or assault that I would take. But I'm going to take that because of the children at the end of the day, right? So I want to believe I got tougher skin and I can pray it off more than the children can. But the children are still seeing this. They're still impacted by it. Right. So the 15-year-old, he'll have moments where he'll lash out, and I'll say, hold on. So the mom called me 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. I really appreciate who you are being there for my child. But this,
God
this
doing
is
for
11
you.
years in.
God doing for you what you did not need
But
to do.
God.
That was God's timing, God's work, God's revenge, God's thing. She'll answer for those things in
100%.
God's time.
And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of stories like that out there, like us, you know. But like I said, give yourself an opportunity, you know, to go one of our office, either Fort Worth or Dallas, Father for Equal Rights. Like
Send them to the website.
We said,
Fathers for
sorry.
Kids.
Well, like we said, it's fixing to be changed. I just want to remind everybody, we're here for the best interest of the children. So this is for mom, dads, and grandparents. So, you know, give yourself an opportunity and step up and do the right thing. I know that there's got to be a lot of people up there that they didn't see their children. They have trouble with child support they can't afford with money. You know, that, you know, they don't know where mom's at. You know, time it goes fast.
And pardon me, but anybody who may be behind on child support still deserves their Thursday,
Exactly.
first, third, and fifth visitations. That does not constitute any reason for you not to see your child. Do not be afraid of that issue.
That's why I encourage all people,
anything
just
wrong.
come and talk to the attorneys. You know, get the legal advice. Know your rights, know the process, and it's like a one-stop at Fathers. You get everything you need, and you be in front of the judge, and then the attorneys that will get you prepared. You know, once you know your rights, you know exactly what to do and how to be there to protect your kids.
That's right. And just remember, I mean, end of the day, it's your child. It's just as much, you know, as the other person's child. So you guys have to share that. You have to share it, and you have to remember that that kid grows up to be an adult, and they have kids, and this is what they'll teach their kids. We don't stop the trend now, you know. It's just no way. My son's 17. She's never ever paid a dime of child support. But
We don't get it.
I mean, it's like I said, there's no reason that I say you cannot see your mom because she's not paying for, you know, whatever the court says that she has to pay for.
Because you know what Mama said? At the end of the day, that is still that child's
Yeah,
mom.
his mama.
But you know what? There's a
Yeah,
trend
that's mama.
because Brian's dad was the same way. He went to court. They fought, and he wanted joint custody. So, of course, he got the joint custody, but never saw Brian Wednesday through Sunday or whatever the time frame is. Never paid child support. And I used to always ask my mom, why don't you get child support? Like, for what? I mean, if you don't want to pay, you don't want to pay. I'm done, you know?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, and then look at him now. And then he's going through the same thing with his son's mother.
I saw both sides of the tracks.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I was just talking about this yesterday. I was like, you know, I learned a lot of stuff growing up from seeing from my family members what not to do. Like, it started, you know, I was lucky that I paid attention and I was aware and I saw this. I remember multiple Christmases just sitting down at Christmas passing the hat around for people that was in the penitentiary because they made the wrong decisions. And I was like, I want nobody passing the damn hat around for me.
Talking about wrong decisions, that's what I get pretty often on the office is that people, you know, go to the you know, attorney general office or courthouse and they sign documents. You know, let the experts, let the attorneys review before you sign anything.
Don't sign any document,
Don't
agree to
sign
anything
anything.
unless you
Come and see
absolutely
the attorneys.
know what you're doing.
It's unbelievable. I'm serious.
So how can our audience listeners actually, you know, get in contact with you all, with Fathers for Equal Rights?
they can go to our website. It's fathers4kids.org, and there are phone numbers for the Dallas office and the Fort Worth office there. Rosalind, if you have your number, you could offer it right now, and that would help. And I'll look up the Dallas.
Yeah,
office
the
number.
Fort Worth office, it's 817-624-4345. Again, Fort Worth office, 817, I'm sorry, I'm giving the facts on my phone. 817-870-4880. Again, the phone number for the Fort Worth office is 817-870-4880. In the Dallas office, I got the number. I don't know if you remind Bill. It is the 214-953-2233. Again,
That's
214-953-2233. Come and see us, guys.
Yeah, very warm and caring people inside those offices that will really connect with you and help your kids.
Right.
Because you got some people, like me, I wasn't a great father, but because I wanted to so much not be like my father. But I was more like my father than I saw.
Wow.
But when you make a change and you do better, because everybody doesn't. And I would love to tell you I was a superhero and I did it right. I ain't even want my kids at first.
Some are like that.
But you got pregnant for?
Some are like that.
But that was my ignorance when I was younger. But I'm feeling that now that I'm older.
Yeah.
And my kids, for the most part, have all forgiven me, and we're working on relationships. I think the problem sometimes with us is we think it's too late.
Right.
But it's never too late to
Amen.
get back into that child's life, because
That's right.
like my one daughter lives with me now, but I remember it was a time she couldn't stand me.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
a lot of that
yeah.
didn't always have to do with me, but I still had a part in it to play in that because of the decisions I made to sleep with the mother. So I played a part. Even if you're a good father, you still played a part when you slept with her.
Yeah.
So you still had a hand in all the wrong that's going on, because you could have said no.
Right.
And so I look at it this way: you have a chance to redeem yourself, and there's really no playbook. See what I'm saying? It's really no playbook. But if you take it day by day, and you're gonna have times it's gonna be different. Fight for your kids. I firmly believe in fighting for your kids. But I firmly believe in prayer works too.
Amen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Because it still works.
It still works. The blood
The only
still
playbook
works.
that I've ever found that works is in the book of Proverbs. You read that every day for 31 days, and I promise you, you don't have to be a Christian. There's corporations out there that do not claim anything to do with God that use those principles and succeed.
You're
That
right.
should be enough said. This is not a recovering Baptist thing.
No.
This is not a religious thing.
I'm a recovering parent.
There you go. This is a thing that you will gain through insight and retrospect and being corrected and being ignorant and having a chance to be corrected and make better. Proverbs, once a day.
Wow.
That's
What's
the book.
What's our text message of the day?
You know what? We got a text message of the day, but today is called God's Brunch Message. How about that?
No.
You like that?
That's not the segment.
That's not the segment.
Yeah.
That's not the
The
segment.
people have gotten used to God's text message of the day.
Oh, they can get it. They
Y'all
can
get
get
this
that too.
God's message of the
They
day.
can
Y'all go
get
get
that
brunch afterwards.
Okay, hey, before Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Metro PCS
Come on,
had
Metro.
text messages, God had already given us the greatest text message of all, and that is the Holy Bible. We should forward the message out for others to be blessed by what God has to say in His people, and we must reply to it by applying it to our lives so that others may see God's good work in us. Now for the brunch of the day. Before Golden Corral, First Cafeteria, Luby's, or Highland Park Cafe, God had already given us the greatest buffet of all, the Holy Bible. We should fill our souls with nourishment for the Word of God and invite others to brunch with us. But the actual verse or chapter book was Galatians 5:22 and 23. But the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. The message by that is, but what happens when we live God's way? He brings gifts into our lives, much the same way the fruit appears in the orchid. Things like affection for others, happy about life, serenity. We develop willingness to stick with things and a sense of compassion in the heart. We find ourselves involved in loyal commitments, not needing to force our way in life, able to marshal and direct our energies wisely. That is our brunch of the day, God's brunch of the day.
Amen.
All right. Yeah, so we want to thank our fathers for equal rights, Rosalinda, Bill, Paul. Thank you all for coming out today.
Thank you.
I just thank God for laying it on my spirit to hit Google. Because without Google, I mean, I don't think I would have found you guys. But thank you so much for coming out and spending your time, your time with us. We really, really appreciate it. And again, we have to bring part 2 back. So we got to keep in contact. Don't cut us off. We're gonna keep in contact so that way we can get others. I mean, because the more knowledge is power. Now, knowledge is powerful. So. Thank you, audience, for our listeners. If you have questions for our Fathers for Equal Rights, then you can hit me up on Facebook. Have a great day.